Hello all. In this video, we'll take a look at the COVID vaccines which are available in India. There are two main vaccines available in India, Covaxin and Covishield. We'll take a look at the detailed comparison for both these vaccines. So the main vaccines which are available in India, as I mentioned, are Covaxin and Covishield. There is a third vaccine which was approved for use in India, that is called Sputnik V. This is currently in the phase of being rolled out in India. So in this particular comparison, we are doing a comparison between Covaxin and Covishield. And once Sputnik is rolled out for broader access, we will do a detailed comparison for that. Towards the end of the video, we have done a high-level analysis of the difference between Covaxin, Covishield, and Sputnik V. So looking at the developer of the vaccines, Covaxin is developed by India itself. So this was developed by Bharat Biotech International Limited in association with the Indian Council of Medical Research and the National Institute of Virology. Covishield, on the other hand, is developed by Oxford AstraZeneca and is being manufactured in India by the Serum Institute of India. Now looking at the types of the vaccines. As far as Covaxin is concerned, this is an inactivated viral vaccine. So what this means is that the overall virus is actually, to take a look at it at a very high level and for simplistic view, let's say the virus is injected, the complete virus is injected, which is in a beaten down format. It's not like a live virus itself, but it's more like a beaten down format, which is injected. This is developed with the whole viron inactivated viro cell technology, and it, as I mentioned earlier, this is containing the inactivated viruses, and this virus does not infect a person, but it basically is what it's doing is it's teaching the immune system to prepare the defense mechanism. This is one of the reasons that Covaxin has been considered very effective when it comes to the variants, especially the Delta variant that we have seen recently come up in India. Covishield, on the other hand, is a viral vector platform-based vaccine. This is basically derived from one of the viruses that we have in the chimpanzees, and this has been modified to carry out the COVID-19 spike protein into the cells of the humans. This cold virus is incapable of infecting the receiver, but it's also basically teaching the immune system to prepare a mechanism against the viruses. Now looking at the doses of the vaccines, both Covaxin and Covishield are basically two-dose vaccines, but the difference between the two is basically the duration between the first and the second dose. For Covaxin, this duration between first and second dose is 4 to 6 weeks, which translates to 28 to 42 days. Whereas for Covishield, the difference between the first and the second is 84 to 112 days, which translates to 12 to 6 weeks. So the benefit that we are having for having Covaxin administered is basically that complete vaccination is done much faster. But obviously, as we have looked at the current availability, Covishield has easier access than Covaxin. Looking at the efficacy of the vaccine, so for Covaxin, based on the interim third phase trial results, it is considered to be 81% effective. Now, when we are looking at percentages, basically what we are saying is that once a person has been vaccinated, so basically once a person has received both the doses of the vaccine, what are the chances of that particular person catching the COVID again? But as I mentioned in one of the earlier submissions, the main benefit of Covaxin is that this is considered effective against any variant. This is because the complete virus is being used. Moving over to Covishield, the efficacy is considered to be 90%, and this is based on the global reports. And the data for effectiveness against the other variants like Delta, that is still being evaluated. Based on this particular score, this is where Covaxin is actually scoring big time, because based on the results which have come out, Covaxin is considered to be very, very effective against the different variants that we are having. In this particular section, we'll be looking at the side effects of the vaccine. Now, obviously, as we all know, whenever anybody goes for vaccination, we all know that we have kids and we take them for vaccinations. There is always a side effect or a chance of a side effect. And basically, some of those are listed here. The first is obviously anybody who's getting vaccinated can experience pain at the site of the injection. Some people, not all, but some might affect side effects such as headache, joint pain, and they might develop some slight fever as well. And what we have seen is that typically these side effects are not long lasting, and generally they go away in a couple of days. In some cases, some people have to go ahead and take some medication to bring down their temperature, but for the others, that is not required as well. So looking at the summary, so if you look at the summary between Covaxin and Covishield, so as I mentioned earlier, the interval between the two doses is definitely one of the factors. Efficacy, let's say, again, based on the current variants, obviously Covishield was considered to be much more effective. Having proven its worth against the Delta version or the Delta variant, Covaxin is definitely considered to be much, much better in that aspect. But obviously, having said that, the first priority for everyone should be to get vaccinated instead of getting bogged down by whether I should go for Covaxin or whether I should go for Covishield. Okay, coming over to the comparison with Sputnik V. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Sputnik V is being rolled out in India, and this is not widely available, at least at this point of time. Probably it will take maybe another month or couple of months before it reaches that stage. But having said that, let's quickly look at the difference between Sputnik and Covishield and Covaxin. Obviously, developers are different, as has been listed out over here. Sputnik has been considered to be very effective, and in fact, currently it is considered to be the one of the vaccines available globally, which is showing the highest efficacy or the highest percentage of coverage once a person is vaccinated. Now, the reason for that is that if you look at point number 4, the doses for the first dose and the second dose is actually different for Sputnik. This other thing to note over here is that the interval between the two doses is also the least when we consider all the 3 vaccines. So the interval between the first and second dose is 21 days. And for both those doses, there are different viruses which are actually injected, or different variants which are actually injected. And that's why historically Sputnik has shown a much better result. Now, obviously, all of that will set to change, or has already changed with the introduction of the Delta variant. And that's why, as I mentioned earlier, Covaxin is considered to be one of the best bets available. But again, having said that, Sputnik in a standalone version, if you look at it, that's considered to be very effective as well. So my summation towards the end of the video is basically, I know people have been confused in terms of which vaccine I should go ahead and get myself administered, or which vaccination should I get my family. At the end of the day, given where we stand in India, especially, whatever is available, it makes sense for us to go ahead and get vaccinated, because that ways we'll be able to have the herd immunity for the complete India. And obviously, we'll all try to go ahead and avoid what we saw in wave 2 that lasted, let's say, between April and late May, early June. I hope you find this video informative. If yes, please go ahead and subscribe. I intend to go ahead and post such videos for enhancing our knowledge on the different subjects and topics. If there are any other topics or subjects that anybody feels you would like to have more research-based analysis and presentation done, do let me know via the comments. Thank you.